Guys, I'm in America. I am in America. Yes, the United States one. That one, yeah. This one. Look at this. Look at, just look. Homelessness here in LA, guys. LA, California. Just look at it. And then you have people like this coming out sometimes to help with food distribution. So I'm just walking around trying to learn about, like, this one is, I'm just around here just trying to learn, like, why are these people homeless, what is being done in a country that was sold to us as it is the dreamland, right? Yes.
Hey, rural American here with a question for my farmers and ranchers. How many times does this man have to screw you over for you to accept or even consider the possibility that he doesn't actually give a about you? Because he's now talking about buying a bunch of beef from Argentina, intentionally driving down the prices that American ranchers can get for their cattle in the process. And that's after he already gave Argentina $20 billion with a B over American farmers in the process after Argentina said, hey, thanks for the cash, you gullible fool. Now we can sell our soybeans to for super cheap and leave American farmers without anywhere to sell their crops. He is literally driving y'all into bankruptcy. Rural Americans are losing the farms and ranches that have been in our families for generations because of his dumb inability to make smart geopolitical decisions. He even has the audacity to talk down to y'all and say that y'all are the ones who just don't understand how tariffs work and that what he's doing is actually for your benefit. You know, losing the farm and ranch land that you've dreamed of handing down to your kids someday, just like your daddy did for you and his daddy did for him and on and on. Yeah, he's insisting that losing all of that is for your benefit, not his. And then on top of all of that, his administration is profiting off of y'all going into bankruptcy and losing everything that you've worked for your entire life. Do you realize that? His VP literally invested in an app that allows foreign investors to come in and snatch up y'all's farm and ranch land after they have successfully driven you off of it. So again, I must ask, what the is it going to take for y'all to realize that siding with him is siding with your own destruction?
Rural America, I hope you're watching. Farmers and ranchers, I hope you're watching, because you're being gaslit right out of existence. Hey guys, my name's Will. This is the Back 40, and let's talk about it. Nothing summarizes, nothing epitomizes, nothing represents the gaslighting that's happening to farmers and ranchers in rural America better than the Chinese trade deal that was announced today. Can you imagine a situation in rural America at any job you hold or on any farm and ranch in this country where you could be praised, lifted up, and put on a pedestal for creating a problem, blowing up the entire economy by creating that problem, backing away from your stance that created the problem, and in the end, claiming a victory because you had to back down? That's exactly what just happened today. In rural America, farmers and ranchers, I hope you're watching, because all of America is going to pay the price, but you're going to pay a very special price. And the media plays along. Headline after headline today that Trump got his trade deal with China. And oh, what a trade deal it was. He raised the tariffs to 145%. China pushed back, raising reciprocal tariffs of their own. Farmers and ranchers lost $1.6 billion in beef sales. And Australia stepped in to fill the gap. Markets that will not come back again. Are you listening, farmers and ranchers? Up to 80% of corn crop exports gone. 37 billion metric tons of soybeans sold overseas, gone. Brazil, which used to sell China 13% of their row crop reserves and consumptibles, now sells them 43%, and those markets will not be back. Pork sales down. The threats of fowl sales, chicken, turkey, etc., going down. And what did we gain as a result? The administration admits that China gave up not one single concession to get this deal. Not one. All that happened is that the two sides agreed to lower these tariffs and to back off for 90 days, at which time they would begin to start talking about the longer term issues. So again, just to summarize, we raised tariffs on China 145%. China reciprocated and raised tariffs on the United States. Foreign markets went away that will never come back again. And billions of dollars in American agricultural sales are gone forever. All of it. All of it. So that the president and this administration, which understand agriculture and rural America about as much as I understand brain surgery and how to walk past a Shoney's all-you-can-eat breakfast bar without dipping into the biscuits and gravy, all so that they could claim a victory based on giving up, turning tail and running, rolling away with no wins, letting the Chinese show us up on the world stage, and caught in the wake, standing there in the diesel smoke, breathing in the fumes of failure, are the rural people of this country and farmers and ranchers, who more than any other group will suffer the consequences of what just happened over the past 3 months. And on top of that devastated economy, that billions of dollars in lost sales, that loss will be compounded by program after program after program designed to mitigate the risk associated with having an administration that doesn't understand rural America and agriculture. That damage will be mitigated by program after program after program going away, leaving farmers and ranchers, 30% of whom who did not vote for this president, holding the bag. Many of them left with a hole in their farming and ranching budgets of anywhere from $10,000 to $300,000 because they signed a contract promising them that if they improved their operations, they'd be reimbursed for a proportion of those expenditures. Frozen, gone. Unless, of course, they were conservative farmers and ranchers screaming the loudest on social media, crying those crocodile tears. It's a sad state of affairs. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, or if you wouldn't touch politics with a 10-foot pole, you're going to suffer the consequences of this bad deal. It's time to wake up. It's time to admit you were lied to. We've got farmers in this country planting crops, not because they think they're going to sell them at a profit, but because they think they're going to get the highest amount in crop insurance for that crop when it's sold at a loss. It's time to wake up. It's time to put these culture wars aside and start voting in our best interest, because how much longer do we have with Wall Street and corporate ag and international companies standing on the sidelines waiting to buy up our small farms and ranches as they fail? As bankruptcies increase, as farmer and rancher unalivings increase in this term just like they did in his last term, it's time to wake up. Join us here at the Back 40. Go to the Back 40 Official, allspelledout.com, and join us in this fight. We can't lose very many more battles like this. We can't lose our farm programs. We can't lose SNAP in rural America. We can't lose Medicaid in rural America. We can't lose infrastructure investment in rural America. We can't allow reverse Robin Hood, where money is taken out of our rural schools and given to kids that are already attending private schools. The harm that will be done will be incalculable in rural America. And I, for one, am not going to stand idly by and watch it happen. And I want you to join me in the effort. It's time to stand up. It's time to put labels aside. It's time to do the right thing.
This is my 39th crop. I started in 1986, the year I graduated high school. I could plant an acre of beans in 1986 for 30 bucks. It irritates me that you don't have the guts to acknowledge that the people do not pay the tariffs. I don't care if it's John Deere, Case, Caterpillar, all that stuff is outsourced overseas. And the guy that pays it is the guy that purchased it. I can buy a bearing for a combine, and it's made in Taiwan or who knows where. Parts have over doubled in the last year, if you can get them. The dealer at Marshall has a backlog for almost 4 months because they can't get parts because of Trump's stupid tariffs. I think agriculture has taken a heck of a hit on a lot of misinformation, and he is not helping the farmer. I mean, we farm about 3,500 acres. We are going to be so far in the red. When are you going to stand up for us instead of kissing his ass for these trade deals? And the tariffs. More so the tariffs than the trade.
I was thinking about this. We are the richest country on the planet, one of the richest countries. Why does it look like ass? Like, really think about that for a second. Like, when you're driving, if you're not in, like, Florida or California or the coast of, like, Oregon or whatever, it's like, this place looks like shit. And we have so much money. Like, I'm thinking of, like, Europe and Japan and all the architecture, like, across the world and how beautiful it looks. Why don't we have, like, rose gold fucking buildings and, like, why does the Kmart's and, like, all of the stores look like shit? Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm closing my eyes and I can imagine, like, like, look at China. Like, Shanghai, like, the coast, like, all those videos you see. That's, like, no joke, stunning, beautiful, high tech. You would think America would look like that with the amount of money that we have. But it just looks like, ugh, you know what I mean?
75% of my neighbors are gone that used to be here 50 years ago. So you can't say that's a success. Half of Main Street of Big Sandy is boarded up. The town's gone from 1,000 when I was in high school down to 600 because the agricultural base is failing and moving on. And so the idea that we can just have a few gigantic farms providing all of our food is a fake notion.
Normal in America is broke. 78% of Americans have too much month left at the end of the money. They spend everything they make and then some every month. That's 8 out of 10 houses on your street are broke. You ever drive down a middle-class street and they got upper-class cars in the driveway? Tells you there's a problem. You can just count the payments is what you're...
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
Gotts hopes for long-term solutions that support both farmers and workers.
The misnomer that farmers exploit immigrants is just so sad to me because, like I said, my friends and neighbors, we love our workers. They're our family. And they want to work, and they will work hard, and there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed them. And it is failing, I feel, the farmers.
Across part of rural America, some long-time Trump supporters are saying they are feeling the squeeze of rising cost and financial uncertainty. The question is, what is driving it, and who do they hold responsible? For many rural families, the biggest concern are familiar higher groceries bills, expensive fuel, rising insurance costs, and fewer economic opportunity. When budgets get tighter, people naturally begin questioning whether the policy they supported are delivering the result they hope for. This isn't just about politics, it's about everyday American trying to make ends meet. When families are struggling financially, party loyalists often take a backseat to paying the bills. Some voters have publicly expressed disappointment with how the economy has affected their communities, while some continue to support President Trump and argue that broader economic factors or other government policies deserve more of the blame. That's why this debate remains so divided. No matter where you stand politically, one thing is clear. When rural communities struggle financially, it is the people who feel the impact first. Do you think American leaders are doing enough to help this community, or should a different approach be taken? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Thank you.